The metallic taste of defeat floods my mouth. It's coppery and thick, like I've bitten my tongue, but I haven't. I just stand here, in the middle of the empty locker room, staring at the crumpled contract in my trembling hands. Coach Martinez called me slow again today, just like he always does. "Rodriguez, you're dragging today. My grandma could swim faster," he'd boomed, his voice echoing off the tiles, making the other swimmers snicker. But this time, I know the truth. He's been sabotaging my times all along. For 3 years, he's been playing me. The familiar scent of chlorine and stale sweat, a smell I used to associate with hard work and dreams, now just makes me feel sick. It can't mask the bitter reality. My own coach, the man I trusted, the one who was supposed to guide me to the Olympics, sold my future. He sold it to keep his star swimmer, Marcus Chen, on top. Marcus, with his easy smile and parents who donated generously to the team. "Maya, you've got raw talent," Coach had said to me when I first joined, his eyes seeming so sincere. "But talent is nothing without discipline. You're lazy, Rodriguez. You could be great, but you don't want it enough." His words echo in my head, a cruel soundtrack to the scene unfolding in my mind. All those extra laps he made me swim, until I thought my muscles would tear. All those times he publicly shamed me for my slow starts or sloppy turns. All those meets where my official times were inexplicably higher than what my own stopwatch showed. I'd believed him. I'd pushed harder, exhausted myself, cried myself to sleep, wondering why I wasn't improving despite giving everything I had. "It's your attitude, Maya," he'd said last week, his voice deceptively calm after I'd clocked a personal best in practice, a time that mysteriously got misrecorded by a tenth of a second slower. "You get a little taste of speed and you think you're there. You're not. You're still too slow." The contract in my hand isn't mine. It's a copy of Marcus Chen's latest endorsement deal, accidentally left in a file Coach handed me with my revised training schedule. A deal contingent on him maintaining his national ranking, a ranking propped up by my suppressed times and Coach Martinez's carefully orchestrated lies. Tucked inside was a memo, an email printout from Marcus's father to Coach. "Keep Maya's times down for another season, and that new timing system we discussed is yours. And a little something extra for your trouble." My breath catches in my throat. The air in here feels heavy, like the water pressure at the bottom of the deep end. He didn't just call me slow, he made me slow. He actively worked against me. The casual cruelty of it, the calculated destruction of my dreams, hits me with the force of a physical blow. I remember the glint in his eye, the smug set of his jaw when he'd hand me the official timesheets. "See, Rodriguez? Still got a long way to go." Each word was a tiny pinprick, slowly deflating my confidence, my passion. He'd even convinced my parents I was the problem, that I wasn't dedicated enough. They'd looked at me with that familiar disappointment, the kind that settles deep in your bones. The crumpled paper feels like lead. My fingers are numb. How could I have been so blind? The signs were there, weren't they? Marcus always getting the prime lanes, the newest gear. Coach Martinez's expensive new watch, the sudden upgrades to his car. I dismissed it all, told myself to focus on my own swimming. My reflection stares back from a cracked mirror on the locker door. Hollow eyes. A face pale with disbelief and a dawning, cold rage. He didn't just betray me. He stole from me. Years of my life, my effort, my belief in myself. A single hot tear traces a path down my cheek, then another. But it's not sadness I feel anymore, it's something else. Something hard and sharp crystallizing in my chest. He thinks he's won. He thinks I'm just that slow girl, easily manipulated, easily broken. He's about to find out how wrong he is. I smooth out the contract, a grim smile touching my lips. This piece of paper isn't just evidence of his betrayal. It's the key to his downfall. What will I do with this knowledge? Oh, I have a few ideas. And they all start with making him eat every single one of his words. My hands shake, not with fear, but with a furious energy as I clutch the evidence. It's all here. The falsified timesheets I managed to print from Coach's unlocked computer, copies of the rigged equipment maintenance logs showing how the touchpads in my lane malfunctioned during key races, even screenshots of deleted emails discussing bribes from Marcus's father. The weight of 3 years of his lies, of Marcus's complicity, crashes down on me like the tons of pool water that are about to claim my life. It feels like an actual physical pressure, squeezing the air from my lungs. It's late. The pool is dark, only the eerie glow of the underwater lights painting shifting patterns on the ceiling. I came here tonight to confront him, armed with my proof. I imagined his face, the shock, the denial, then the fear. I wanted to see him squirm, but the office was empty, the pool deserted. He must have known I was onto him. Maybe he saw the missing file, noticed the printer history. I never meant to slip on these damn wet tiles. One moment I was pacing the edge of the pool, my mind racing with scenarios of his exposure. The next, my feet went out from under me. There was a sickening crack as my head hit the concrete, a bright flash of pain, and then the cold shock of the water. I'm sinking. The chlorine stings my eyes, burns my throat, a horribly familiar sensation, now twisted into a final, fatal embrace. I can't tell which way is up. My limbs feel heavy, unresponsive. The evidence, the precious papers I'd clutched so tightly, scatter around me like macabre confetti, already blurring and dissolving in the chemically treated water. Useless. All that work, all that risk, for nothing. Panic claws at my chest, a desperate, primal scream trapped within. I try to kick, to reach for the surface, but my body won't obey. It's like I'm paralyzed, watching myself drown from a distance. The irony isn't lost on me. The place that was my sanctuary, the place I poured my heart and soul into, is now my grave. 3 years. He took 3 years from me. He called me slow. He made them all believe I was slow. Marcus Chen, with his smug face and his doped-up victories, will go to the Olympics. Coach Martinez will get his bonuses, his new timing system, and I'll just be gone. A tragic accident. Such a shame, they'll say. She had potential, but she was never quite fast enough. My lungs are bursting. The darkness is closing in, not just the physical darkness of the deep end, but a final absolute blackness. As it swallows me whole, as the last bubbles of air escape my lips, my last thought isn't of regret or fear or even sadness. It burns with a white-hot clarity, a vow seared into my fading consciousness. If I survive this, Marcus Chen and Coach Martinez will pay. They will pay for every stolen dream, every public humiliation, every second they shaved off my life and added to their own. If I survive, the thought is a desperate prayer, a final spark before everything fades to nothing. The water is crushing me. It fills my mouth, my nose. There's a strange peace in the surrender, a letting go. But beneath it, that single burning thought remains. Pay. They will pay. Is this it? Is this how my story ends? Drowned in the very water I was born to conquer, defeated by a lie? No. It can't be. I won't let it. If I survive. The words become a mantra, a tiny flickering ember in the overwhelming void. The sharp, insistent beep of my alarm clock pierces through the suffocating confusion, and I bolt upright in bed, gasping for air that doesn't taste of chlorine. My heart hammers against my ribs like a trapped bird. Where am I? My bedroom. Sunlight streams through the gap in my curtains. I'm dry. I'm alive. But how? I remember sinking, the cold, the darkness. My phone screen glows on the nightstand. I snatch it up, my hand still trembling from the phantom cold of the pool. The date displayed makes my breath hitch, my heart attempt a new, even more frantic rhythm. August 14th, 2022. Exactly 3 years ago. 3 years. It's impossible. It has to be a dream, a hallucination from drowning. But the faded Team USA swimming poster on my wall, the one I pinned up the day I made the junior national team, looks newer, the colors brighter. The stack of scholarship offer letters on my desk, the ones I haven't even opened yet in this timeline, sits pristine and hopeful. Everything in this room, every detail, screams an impossible, terrifying truth. I'm 17 again. Maya, breakfast! My mom's voice, cheerful and unsuspecting, drifts up the stairs, a voice I thought I'd never hear again. I stumble out of bed, my legs shaky. The floorboards are cool beneath my feet, real. I look at my hands. They're smoother, younger. The calluses from years of gripping the starting blocks aren't as pronounced. I rush to the mirror, the face staring back as mine, but fresher. No dark circles of exhaustion and betrayal under my eyes. Just the wide, slightly bewildered eyes of a 17-year-old girl with her whole future supposedly ahead of her. A future I now know is a lie. A future where Coach Martinez is already plotting, already taking notes, already deciding how to subtly sabotage me to elevate Marcus Chen. This time, I know exactly what he plans to do, and I know how it all ends if I let it. The weight of that knowledge of what's to come, of what I've already lived through, settles on me. It's a heavy cloak, but it's also a shield. Last night, or 3 years from now, I was a victim, drowned by deceit. Today? Today, I'm a survivor with a serious grudge and an unbelievable second chance. A strange calm begins to spread through me, pushing aside the panic. I have the memories, I have the foresight. Coach Martinez thinks he's about to start a game of chess with a pawn. He has no idea he's facing a queen who already knows all his moves. I walk over to my desk and pick up one of the unopened scholarship letters. University of Michigan, a full ride. I remember in the other timeline, Coach had subtly discouraged me from this one. Too competitive, Maya. Their training program is brutal. You wouldn't keep up. Stick to a smaller pond. He'd steered me towards a less prestigious program, one where my slower times wouldn't look so out of place next to their existing swimmers, all part of his grand design. My fingers tighten on the envelope. Not this time. This time, I make the choices. A small, determined smile plays on my lips. He called me slow? He's about to see speed he can't even comprehend. But not yet. Oh no. First, I have a role to play. If I'm going to take him down, expose him for the fraud he is, I need to be smart. I need to gather fresh evidence. Evidence that isn't at the bottom of a pool 3 years in the future. What's my plan now? The first step is easy. Today is the first day of training for the new season. I'm going to walk into that pool, look Coach Martinez in the eye, and let him see the same uncertain, slightly intimidated Maya he expects. I'll let him call me slow. I'll let him believe he's in control, for now. I shuffle into the pool complex, my swim bag bumping against my leg. I deliberately drag my feet just a little, enough to look like I'm not exactly thrilled to be here. It's an image Coach Martinez has cultivated for me, the lazy swimmer with wasted potential. He loves that narrative. It makes him look like a dedicated coach, tirelessly trying to motivate a difficult athlete. His predatory smile spreads wide when he sees me enter the humid, chlorine-scented air of the natatorium. Rodriguez, finally decided to grace us with your presence? Thought you might have forgotten where the pool was. His voice, dripping with false bonhomie for the benefit of the other parents milling about, grates on my nerves. He thinks he's still pulling all the strings, that I'm the same naive kid from before. Sorry, Coach, I mumble, avoiding his gaze, playing the part of the chastened swimmer. Overslept. Overslept? He raises an eyebrow, a theatrical gesture. Champions don't oversleep, Rodriguez. Champions are already in the water. Remember that? I nod, my eyes downcast, but inside a cold fire is burning. Oh, I'll remember, Coach. I'll remember everything. As I head to the locker room, I can feel his eyes on my back. He's already assessing, calculating. He doesn't know that I'm doing the exact same thing. Later, during warm-ups, I fumble with my goggles, letting them slip twice. I pretend to struggle with the basic drills, my strokes deliberately less efficient than they should be. I can see him watching me from the pool deck, a small frown creasing his forehead, probably already cataloging my flaws for his next pep talk on my lack of focus. Rodriguez, your kick is sloppy today. Are those cinder blocks tied to your ankles? He barks. No, Coach, I call back, feigning breathlessness. He smirks. He loves this. The taste of pool water, that familiar chemical tang, stings my throat as I deliberately swim slower than a middle schooler during the main set. I make sure Marcus Chen, already gliding through the water like a torpedo in the next lane, easily laps me. Marcus, who in this timeline is still just the golden boy, unaware of the darker dealings that will secure his future success. Or maybe he already knows. His father's influence is strong. I watch Coach Martinez interact with Marcus's father by the bleachers. The overly friendly handshakes, the hushed conversations, The discreet passing of an envelope that I know contains more than just club fees. I'm memorizing every detail, every glance, every subtle exchange. This time, I'm not just a swimmer, I'm a detective, gathering intel for a case only I know exists. During a particularly grueling set of sprints, Coach pulls me aside. Maya, he says, his voice taking on that patronizing tone I despise. I look at you, and I see so much natural ability, but it's like you're afraid to use it. You're holding back. Why is that? I look at him, trying to project an image of confused frustration. I don't know, Coach. I'm trying. Really, I am. It's a lie, of course. I'm holding back, but not out of fear, out of strategy. He sighs, a long, suffering sound. Trying isn't enough, Maya. You need to commit. Look at Marcus. He commits. That's why he's improving, and you're treading water. The urge to tell him exactly what I think of his golden boy, to wipe that smug look off his face, is almost overwhelming. But I swallow it down, replacing it with a look of dejection. Yes, Coach. He pats my shoulder, a gesture that feels more like a brand than a comfort. Don't worry, we'll get you there. I won't give up on you, even if you give up on yourself. The hypocrisy is staggering. He's the one who gave up on me before I even had a chance. For the next few weeks, I maintain the charade. I'm the first to arrive late, the last to finish sets, the one who always seems to need extra motivation. I listen to his criticisms, nod at his advice, and all the while, I'm watching. I'm noting down the discrepancies in his timing, the way he forgets to log my better practice swims, the subtle ways he praises Marcus for things I accomplished with less effort. It's a dangerous game, walking this tightrope of feigned incompetence. How long can I maintain this act before he suspects something, or before I snap? The pressure is building, but so is my resolve. Each day is a tick on a clock only I can hear, counting down to the moment I turn the tables. Marcus glides through the water like a liquid mercury, each movement precise, powerful, almost unnervingly perfect. His technique is flawless, a symphony of muscle and motion, honed by years of expensive private lessons and, as I now know, other, less savory advantages. The crowds roar, a wave of sound vibrates through the pool deck as he touches the wall, his hand slamming against the touchpad. Another record shattered. Another victory that should have been mine, or at least fairly contested. I watch from the shadows of the warm-down pool, my fingers clenched so tight around the rough edge of the gutter that my nails draw blood. The faint, coppery taste in my mouth is a bitter reminder. This time, I know the truth behind his golden boy facade, his incredible stamina, his lightning-fast recovery times. It isn't just protein powder and dedication. Coach Martinez has been his supplier all along, providing him with supplements that are definitely not on the WADA-approved list. I remember the hushed conversation I overheard in the future that wasn't, the one that sealed my fate the first time. Coach Martinez and Marcus's father in the dimly lit pool office. The new batch is in, stronger than before, Coach had said, his voice low. But it's leaving trace metabolites. We need to be more careful with the masking agents. Marcus's father had just nodded, a grim set to his jaw. Just make sure he stays on top. The Olympic Committee doesn't look too closely at the winners as long as the check's clear. The memory sends a chill down my spine even now, in this humid natatorium. It wasn't just about sabotaging my times, it was about actively cheating, doping their star athlete to ensure his supremacy. My slowness was just a convenient cover story, a way to keep anyone from looking too closely at Marcus's miraculous improvements. Today is the regional pre-qualifier. It's a smaller meet, but important for seedings. Marcus is, of course, the star attraction. Everyone expects him to dominate, and he does. Stroke after stroke, race after race, he leaves everyone else in his wake. The commentators gush about his natural talent, his unbelievable work ethic, if they only knew. Coach Martinez stands by the poolside, his chest puffed out, beaming like a proud father. He catches my eye as I'm toweling off and gives me a pitying look, the kind you give a three-legged dog. See that, Rodriguez? That's what champions look like. Focus, power, speed, things you need to work on. Yes, Coach, I reply, my voice flat. I can feel the other swimmers looking at me, the whispers already starting. Poor Maya, she used to be so promising. Even my parents, who are here today, have that familiar disappointed expression. After my deliberately mediocre swim in the preliminaries, just fast enough to make the B final, but slow enough to earn a lecture from coach, my dad had pulled me aside. Maya, honey, are you sure you still want this? There's no shame in admitting if it's too much. His words, meant to be kind, felt like another betrayal, another echo of coach's manipulations. I want this, Dad, I'd said, trying to keep the tremor out of my voice. I just, I'm in a slump. A slump, that's what they all think. A convenient explanation for my regression. As Marcus steps onto the podium to accept another gold medal, his smile dazzling under the bright lights, I slip away. I head towards the back of the equipment storage area, a place I know Coach Martinez often uses for his more discreet conversations. My phone is already in my hand, camera app open. If I can get proof of the drug exchange, actual visual evidence, it'll be the nail in their coffin. This golden lie they've built around Marcus Chen is about to tarnish, and I'm going to be the one to expose it. The question is, how will I use this information to not only bring them down, but also reclaim what's rightfully mine? The answer is starting to form, a risky, audacious plan that will require perfect timing and nerves of steel. My phone trembles almost imperceptibly in my hand, nestled securely in the pocket of my hoodie. The tiny lens of the hidden camera I'd managed to rig peeks out, aimed through a strategically placed gap in a stack of kickboards. I'm tucked away in the darkest corner of the equipment shed, the air thick with the smell of damp neoprene and mildew. My heart is pounding, a frantic rhythm against my ribs, but my breathing is slow and steady. I've practiced this moment in my mind 100 times. The hushed whispers begin just outside the shed door. Coach Martinez and Marcus, right on schedule. Sure no one saw you? Coach's voice is low, urgent. Yeah, I'm clear, Marcus mutters, sounding impatient. Just give them to me. I've got that time trial in an hour and I need the edge. The rustle of a plastic bag, then another. The distinctive click of a pill bottle opening. This is it, the perfect soundtrack to their downfall. This new stuff is potent, Marcus, Coach Martinez warns. Don't overdo it, and make sure you take the flush tabs exactly 2 hours before any potential test. We can't afford any slip-ups, not this close to nationals. I know the drill, Coach, Marcus says, a hint of arrogance in his tone. You worry too much. As long as Rodriguez keeps swimming like a turtle, no one's looking too closely at me. A cold fury washes over me at his casual dismissal, but I force myself to remain still, to keep recording. Every word, every sound, is another thread in the net I'm weaving around them. I've been playing weak, deliberately underperforming for 2 long months now. 2 months of biting my tongue, of swallowing his insults, of watching Marcus bask in unearned glory. 2 months of meticulous planning, of gathering small pieces of evidence, of waiting for the perfect opportunity. The strain has been immense. There were days I wanted to scream, to just swim my heart out and show them all, but I held back. For this, tonight is the final regional qualifier, the last chance to post official times for the national championships. Everyone expects me to barely scrape by, if I even qualify at all. Coach Martinez has me down for the slowest heat, a pity entry, as he so charmingly put it to one of the assistant coaches, loud enough for me to overhear. What he doesn't know is that after my official entry form was submitted with my deliberately slow times, I used a burner email and a separate entry pathway, one usually reserved for independent athletes not affiliated with a club, to submit my real times. Times I've been secretly clocking in an old, barely used community pool across town, early in the mornings before anyone else is there. Times that are not just good, they're fast. Faster than Marcus. Faster than any girl in this region has swum in years. The recording continues for another few minutes as they discuss dosage and masking protocols. Then, footsteps recede. I wait, counting to 60 before carefully retrieving my phone. My hands are shaking now, the adrenaline coursing through me. I check the footage. It's perfect. Clear audio, and even a partial view of the exchange through the crack in the shed door. The next step is the swim itself. Submitting the times was a gamble. Will they be accepted? Will they overwrite the official club entry? Or will they be flagged as an anomaly, investigated before I even get a chance to prove them? The weight of the past 3 years, the pain of the original betrayal, and the hope of this second chance all press down on me. This isn't just about breaking records anymore. It's about breaking them, shattering the system of lies and corruption Coach Martinez has built. Tonight, the turtle, as Marcus so elegantly put it, is about to grow wings, or rather, fins. Very, very fast fins. The starting blocks feel like slabs of ice beneath my bare feet. It's a stark contrast to the humid, supercharged air of the natatorium, thick with anticipation and the smell of chlorine. I take my position in lane 4, the fast lane, my lane. Coach Martinez is over by the officials' table, schmoozing, probably bragging about Marcus's inevitable victory lap. His back is to the pool. He hasn't seen the updated heat sheets yet. But then, one of the junior coaches, a nervous young guy named Tim, hurries over to him, pointing at a printout. I see Coach Martinez's head snap up. His eyes scan the lanes, and then they find me. His face, moments before wreathed in a confident smirk, drains of all color. It's a look of pure, unadulterated shock, quickly followed by a flicker of, is that fear? Good. I'm no longer hiding in the slow lanes, seated in the C final with the rookies and the swimmers just hoping to make a qualifying cut. I'm here, in the A final of the 200-meter freestyle, the premier event of the night. The crowd's confused murmur starts as a low hum and then builds. They're looking at the scoreboard, then at me, then back at the scoreboard. Whispers ripple through the stands. Rodriguez in lane 4? Is that a mistake? I calmly reach up and untie my warm-up suit. With a deliberate slowness, I let it fall to the deck, revealing the lean, powerful muscle I've been concealing under baggy clothes for months. The months of feigned laziness, of deliberately slow swims, have been a lie. Underneath, I've been training like a demon, pushing myself to limits I didn't even know I possessed, all fueled by a burning desire for retribution. In lane 4, the announcer's voice booms across the pool, a little shaky, like he can't quite believe what he's reading. From Northwood Aquatics, Maya Rodriguez. He pauses, and I can almost hear him shuffling papers or getting an urgent whisper in his headset. The crowd leans in. Even Marcus, preening in lane 5, glances over, a frown creasing his brow. The announcer clears his throat. Maya Rodriguez, he repeats, his voice now tinged with disbelief. Seated with a qualifying time of, wait, this can't be right, 1 minute, 51.32 seconds. A collective gasp goes through the natatorium. 1:51:32. That's not just a fast time, that's a national record contending time. It's almost 3 seconds faster than Marcus Chen's personal best, the one he set just last month, the one that has him touted as the next Olympic hopeful. Coach Martinez is on his feet now, storming towards the officials' table, his face puce. I can see him gesturing wildly, yelling. But it's too late. The officials are looking at their own paperwork, shrugging. The time is logged, it's official. I ignore the commotion. I step onto the block, my focus narrowing to the still, blue water in front of me. I can feel Marcus's glare, hot and incredulous, from the next lane. I meet his eyes for a fleeting second, and I allow myself a tiny, almost imperceptible smile. You have no idea what's coming. The starter raises the gun. Swimmers, take your marks. This is it. No more hiding, no more playing weak. The race is about to begin, and with it, the end of their reign. The crack of the starter pistol splits the air and the water explodes around me as I knife into the pool. My dive is perfect. A powerful, streamlined entry I've visualized 1,000 times. Each stroke is a release powered by 3 years of suppressed fury, 3 years of biting my tongue, 3 years of being called slow. The first 50 meters are a blur of controlled aggression. I feel light, effortless, like the water itself is propelling me forward. I can hear the roar of the crowd, but it's distant, muted, as if I'm in my own world, just me and the black line at the bottom of the pool. I hit the first turn, a quick, precise flip, and push off the wall with explosive force. I'm already ahead, way ahead. I can sense more than see the other swimmers struggling in my wake. Where is Marcus? I don't care. He's not my competition anymore. My only competition is the clock and the ghosts of all the stolen races from my past. The familiar burn begins in my lungs, in my muscles, but it's different this time. It's not the agonizing burn of exhaustion and despair. It transforms, morphs into pure, unadulterated euphoria. This is what it feels like to swim free, to unleash every ounce of power I possess. At the 100-meter mark, I'm still pulling away. The announcer is shouting, his voice hoarse with excitement. Unbelievable! Maya Rodriguez is on a world record pace. She is absolutely flying. I see Coach Martinez's face as I approach the wall for the final turn. He's pale, his jaw slack, his eyes wide with a dawning horror. He knows. He knows what this means. His carefully constructed empire of lies is crumbling with every stroke I take. The last 50 meters are about pure will. My body is screaming, but my spirit is soaring. I pour every last bit of energy into those final strokes, my arms churning, my legs kicking like pistons. The water parts before me. I touch the wall. Silence. For a split second, the entire natatorium holds its breath. Then, the scoreboard flashes. 147:23. A wave of sound, a physical force hits me as the crowd erupts. 1 minute, 47.23 seconds. It's not just a personal best. It's not just a regional record. It's a new world record. I've destroyed Marcus's personal best by 3 full seconds. I've destroyed the existing world record by nearly a full second. I hang on the lane line, gasping for air, my body trembling with exertion and elation. I turn and look at Coach Martinez. He's standing by the edge of the pool, frozen. The printout of the original heat sheet crumpled in his shaking hand. His face is ashen. Sponsors' phones are already ringing around the pool deck. I can see their representatives frantically making calls, their expressions a mixture of shock and excitement. They know a star has just been born and a fraud is about to be exposed. Marcus, he's still in the water, staring at the scoreboard, his face a mask of disbelief and fury. He looks broken. Good. My victory lap has only just begun. This swim wasn't just about setting a record, it was a declaration, a warning. And I'm not done yet, not by a long shot. The real satisfaction will come when that contract of his and Coach's career crumples just like that piece of paper in his hand. The conference room at the USA Swimming headquarters reeks of stale coffee and a palpable underlying desperation. It's a small, sterile room, chosen for its lack of windows, I suspect. Across the polished mahogany table sit 3 stern-faced officials, their expressions carefully neutral, but their eyes betray a wary curiosity. Coach Martinez is there, looking considerably less confident than he did on the pool deck. He's aged 10 years in the last 24 hours. His lawyer, a slick man in an expensive suit, sits beside him, shuffling papers with an air of forced calm. Marcus Chen and his father are present too, their usual arrogance replaced by a simmering resentment and poorly concealed panic. I sit opposite them, calm, composed. My parents are beside me, their faces a mixture of shock, pride, and a dawning understanding of what I've endured. Miss Rodriguez, the lead official, a woman named Director Thompson, begins, her voice crisp. You've made some extraordinary claims, and your performance last night was, to put it mildly, unexpected. We have the official results, of course. A new world record. She pauses, letting the weight of that sink in. But you allege that this performance was intentionally suppressed for years? I meet her gaze directly. Yes, Director. For 3 years, Coach Martinez systematically manipulated my training, my official times, and my competition entries to ensure I never outshone his preferred athlete, Marcus Chen. Coach Martinez sputters. That's outrageous. A baseless accusation from a disgruntled swimmer who finally had one good race. His lawyer places a restraining hand on his arm. If I may, I say, my voice quiet but firm, cutting through his bluster. I reach down and pick up a thick manila envelope from the floor beside my chair. I slide it across the table. It lands with a soft thud in front of Director Thompson. I believe you'll find my claims are anything but baseless. Director Thompson opens the envelope. Her eyes widen slightly as she begins to pull out the contents. First, the falsified timesheets, side by side with printouts from the community pool's timing system showing my actual practice times over the last 2 months. Then, the maintenance logs I'd managed to photograph, highlighting the consistent malfunctions of the touchpads in my assigned lanes during crucial meets. Coach Martinez's face turns ashen as photographs spill out next. Grainy but clear enough, pictures of him meeting with Marcus's father in quiet corners, envelopes exchanging hands. Then, the audio transcripts from the equipment shed, detailing conversations about performance-enhancing drugs. Marcus Chen's lawyer frantically starts shuffling through his own set of papers, but his composure is visibly cracking. The final items in my envelope are medical records, not Marcus's official ones, but anonymized printouts from a source I cultivated, detailing abnormal testosterone levels and traces of banned substances, timed perfectly around major competitions. It's not definitive proof of doping on its own, but combined with everything else, and this, this is... Director Thompson struggles for words, looking from the evidence to Coach Martinez, then to Marcus. My quiet voice cuts through their rising panic. I have 3 years of meticulously documented evidence, Director, and believe me, I pause, letting my gaze sweep over Martinez and the Chens. This is just the beginning. I have more. Digital footprints. Witness statements I'm still gathering. Enough to not only strip Marcus of every unearned medal, but to ensure Coach Martinez never coaches a goldfish, let alone a human being, ever again. The power dynamic in the room has irrevocably shifted. They came in expecting to intimidate a teenage girl. They're now facing a relentless accuser with an arsenal of their own misdeeds. The cheap coffee on the side table suddenly smells like their career's burning. "What do you want, Miss Rodriguez?" Director Thompson finally asks, her voice softer now, almost weary. I lean forward. "I want justice," I say simply. "I want my stolen years acknowledged. I want every record corrected. And I want them," I nod towards Martinez and Marcus, "to face the full consequences of their actions. No deals, no quiet retirements, full public accountability." The silence in the room is thick with the unraveling of lies. Martinez looks like he's about to be sick. Marcus won't meet my eye. His father stares at me with pure, unadulterated hatred. Let him. His money can't buy them out of this. This is more satisfying than any race. And my victory lap is far from over. What else do I have planned? They're about to find out just how deep this rabbit hole goes. 6 months later, the weight of Olympic gold presses cool and heavy against my chest. My country's anthem swells, a triumphant wave of sound washing over me, and the roar of the crowd is deafening, yet somehow distant. I stand on the highest step of the podium, the flag draped around my shoulders, and for the first time in what feels like a lifetime, I allow the tears to fall freely. Not tears of sorrow or frustration, but tears of catharsis, of vindication. The pool below, the one in this Olympic stadium, shimmers under the bright lights. It's a familiar sight, the blue expanse of water, but it's different now. The pool where I once metaphorically drowned in betrayal, where my dreams were systematically suffocated, now reflects my ultimate triumph. It ripples with the tears I finally allow myself to shed, each one a testament to the battles fought and won. Coach Martinez isn't here, of course. He watches, I imagine, from the flickering screen of a common room television in a low-security prison. His sentence for fraud, conspiracy, and illegal distribution of banned substances still in its early months. His face, once smug and controlling, now probably sags with the bitter taste of his own medicine. I wonder if he still calls me slow in his mind. Marcus Chen's name is a fading whisper in the swimming world. His records, every single one, have been stripped. His medals recalled. The endorsements vanished overnight. His posters, once plastered in sporting goods stores, now hang like ghosts in the dusty archives of swimming halls across the country. A cautionary tale of hubris and deceit. He's facing a lifetime ban from all competitive sports. His golden lie cost him everything. The investigation following my revelations had been swift and brutal. The evidence was too overwhelming, too meticulously compiled. My one good race turned into a cascade of them as I was finally allowed to compete fairly, shattering record after record in the lead-up to these games. The swimming world was rocked by the scandal, but also electrified by the emergence of a new, undeniable talent. Me. My parents are in the stands, their faces alight with a pride so fierce it almost brings me to my knees. The disappointment that once shadowed their eyes has been replaced by an awe I never thought I'd see directed at me. We've talked, really talked, for the first time in years. They understand now the depth of the manipulation, the strength it took to endure and fight back. Their support has been my anchor. As the anthem reaches its crescendo, I look out at the cheering crowd, at the flashing cameras. I remember the darkness of that pool 3 years ago, the feeling of sinking, the burning vow. They will pay. And they have. But this victory isn't just about their downfall, it's about my rebirth. I learned something profound through all of this. Sometimes you have to let people underestimate you. Sometimes you have to let them call you slow. Let them think they have you figured out, boxed in, defeated. You let them get comfortable in their arrogance. And then, when the moment is right, when the stakes are highest, you don't just prove them wrong. You leave them so far behind, gasping in your wake, that they can't even comprehend how they misjudged you so spectacularly. The gold medal feels solid in my hand as I step down from the podium. It's not just a piece of metal, it's a symbol, a testament to resilience, to the enduring power of truth, and to the sweet, sweet taste of justice served cold. My journey was longer, harder, and far more twisted than I ever could have imagined. But standing here, an Olympic champion, the world at my feet, I know one thing for sure. I wouldn't change a single, agonizing, empowering second of it. The future is mine now, clear and bright as the Olympic flame itself, and I'm just getting started.